Okay, well, we'll get started. We said these were a quick hit series, so want to be mindful of everybody's time, but good afternoon. Happy Wednesday to everyone, and welcome to Hireology's quick hit webinar series, Reimagining the Workforce. Today's session is called Recruitment Marketing and the New Applicant Economy. My name is Kristin Tschantz. I'm the Director of Marketing here at Hireology, and I'm thrilled to be able to talk to you all today. Our goal for this set of series is our third session, so hopefully we have some returning visitors today, is really just touch on some timely workforce topics in a digestible 15 to 20 minute segment. You are all super busy. We are all facing some great challenges as we look to reopen the economy and get back to business. And so today we're really going to dig into what are some quick things that you can learn about recruitment marketing and how you can fine-tune that strategy to attract top talent during a time where attracting talent and filling those open roles is harder than ever. So let's get started. Last year has been a wild ride. I'm sure all of you are feeling it and looking forward to a better summer. The pandemic completely changed the world as we knew it. You had to drastically change your daily operations and adapt in order to keep your business afloat. When it came to hiring, that meant different things for different businesses. I'm sure all of you don't want to think about what you went through this quarter of last year. For some of you, it meant that you had to lay off people, freeze hiring, and do a lot more with less as you tried to hold on to keep your business afloat. For others in industries like healthcare, that meant ramping up hiring super quickly. How do you do that? How do you make sure that you're staffed appropriately? And for all of you, you had to do this while managing the safeties of your employees and your clients. Not an easy task, as people teams and HR functions are usually stretched pretty thin at the businesses that we deal with and talk to at Hireology. Regardless of what changes the crisis of 2020 brought for your business and staff, one thing remained constant. You need to find quality team members to fill your open roles. If your payroll is your number one expense and your payroll is what's going to keep you thriving through everything, you need to make sure you have top talent. If you were operating with less, you had to make sure you had the right people in those seats. And if you were looking to ramp up hiring, you needed a process and strategy for getting folks on board quickly. So on this idea of getting the right person in the right seat fast isn't going to go away now that the economy is recovering. In fact, it has become all the more essential. We're actually experiencing what we call the new applicant economy. People are getting vaccinated, COVID cases are going down, consumers are spending more, so businesses are looking to hire people quickly in order to keep up with this new demand. And chances are you're one of them. The problem is the number of applicants looking for jobs just hasn't caught up to the boom in job openings. There's several reasons for this. People are hesitant to return to in-person jobs because of lingering COVID concerns or just being used to the new normal that they've been living in. Maybe they're living on unemployment benefits and that's really attractive given what they've lived through the past year. Or simply, they might not have childcare that prevents them from getting back to work. There's a lot of mitigating factors that didn't exist pre-COVID that are preventing people from coming back to work. We've also seen the pandemic lead to early retirement for some folks. We already had an issue, pre-COVID, we were sitting at an unemployment of 3%, meaning every able-bodied person that could work was working, and COVID forced some early retirement for that bigger baby boomer population. So because of this, we just have that many less people in the workforce, which is making it really hard for you. Regardless of the reason, businesses are finding it's really hard to fill these open roles. We're hopeful that this is a trend that will die down later this year, but it won't be immediate. It's going to be a hard summer for anyone who is looking to fill open seats. So you need to experience with different ways to adjust your hiring strategy to attract talent, fill those roles, and remain competitive as a business. It's going to get hard, but we're all going to be in this together. So let's talk about what this looks like. In this new applicant economy, the supply and demand equation puts employers at a disadvantage. Gone are the days of just posting a few open roles on Indeed or other job boards and hoping for the best. You have to be strategic and really optimize your recruiting spend to make sure you're getting the most out of the resources and time you're investing in this, and so you can attract those in-demand people before they go to a competitor. Put simply, jobs are like products and they must be retailed. You need to put the same level of intent, effort, and strategy behind how you market them to shoppers as any other product or service that you provide. We are fast approaching what could be the most difficult summer for businesses to hire and retain talent. So how do you get ahead of this and build a strong pipeline and mitigate a lot of the difficulty that your teams are going to be feeling? So, that's why I'm here to talk to you today as a marketing expert or wannabe expert. You need to turn to your friends in marketing to learn how to win. As a marketer, we think about on a day-to-day basis, what keeps us up at night is how we can win over an audience and beat out the noise in the market and competition. It comes down to 4 simple principles: understanding the audience that we're targeting and going after, defining the value proposition of what our product delivers to that audience, building a multi-channel strategy that can get that value proposition in front of that target audience, and finally, the best marketers around continually track and optimize the message, the channels, and the processes that they're using to get people to buy their products or services. So let's see how you can lift and shift these simple principles to your recruitment strategy and win in today's applicant economy. To hire top talent to meet the increasing demands, this is what you need to do. Know your ideal candidate. Who do you want to invest time and money to put on your payroll and invest in retaining this summer? Define the value proposition that you deliver to your employees, both current and prospective. What's changed during COVID? What do you need to do to get in front of different kinds of talent? This is the time to do that. Identify how you can put that value proposition in front of targets. It's more, as I mentioned before, it's more than one job board or approach. So it's how you can leverage multiple channels like your marketing team probably does to get the word out. And finally, who you put on payroll is the most critical lever and biggest expense any business has, regardless of what industry that you're in. So you need to track and manage that process. If you're investing that much time, effort, and dollars, how are you tracking and managing it? So let's dig into those 4 areas so you can walk away with some quick best practices. First, you need to know the ideal persona of your ideal candidate for your business. Recruiting and hiring is no different from selling your product or service. If you're selling a software app, for example, you want to really understand your target audience beyond demographics. What are their pain points and needs? What makes them buy your product over a competitor? The same goes for open roles. You already know that the qualifications and experience you are looking for in an ideal candidate, but you also need to really understand the needs and priorities of the folks you're hoping to hire in order to get them to come work for you over your competitors. Things like benefits, culture, remote work flexibility, et cetera, et cetera. How do you take time to really understand the needs and priorities of the person that you're looking to hire so you can build a job that's attractive to them? So let's take a look at some factors we can use to make up the typical applicant persona today, outside of their skills and work experience. A good starting point is figuring out what motivates people to leave the jobs that they have today and start their search, because typically those are the factors that they're looking for in a new role. I'm going to reiterate this a couple of times. Every person who wants to work or is able-bodied or is a top talent is basically in market or working today. You need to find things that are going to take them off of unemployment or out of current position. So really understanding these motivators to initiate that search will help you reform your marketing strategy and your recruitment strategy. According to a survey that we did last month, most people began their job search for these reasons: pay, benefits, career path, flexibility. And even though it's a little bit lower on this list, interesting to note that 1 in 4 leave because of poor culture. The culture that you deliver upon is really about that employee value proposition. And 25% of the people that leave your business are leaving because of cultural fulfillment. So these answers are going to help you bring your applicant persona to life. Of course, your candidate persona will include specifics beyond your industry. For example, in healthcare or other essential worker industries, people will have more COVID safety concerns. But in general, these type of motivators transcend industries: pay, benefits, career path, flexibility in working from home, virtual, et cetera. And then finally, cultural fulfillment. So knowing those things, what do you do once you have it? Just like you would if you were a marketer and advertising a product in a competitive market, you need to define your value proposition in a way that's appealing to your target audience. You need to make it clear exactly how your company meets the needs of the applicants in your industry and how you meet those needs better than the competitors. The best way to do this is your career site. This is a dedicated section of your website completely focused on applicant message. It is the hub of your employer brand. Make your benefits, culture, values, and other unique offerings clear. Name a business that is in the selling a product or a service today that does not have a website. If you are marketing jobs, why would you not have a career site? Here is an example of one of Hireology's customers, Fox Motors, based here in Chicago and the Grand Rapids area. You can see that beyond a listing of open roles, they're marketing their organization to help applicants get their careers in gear. They tell the story of their brand, highlight benefits, charitable giving, and even have a culture video to really give applicants a look inside their company. They are doing everything they can to debunk any issues people may have or perceptions they may have about working in a dealership, and really leaning into, here's what we can deliver to you as a top candidate. Your employer branding is more important today than ever before. We said this pre-COVID, and I think COVID has only made it exponentially that much more important. You are competing with a lot of other companies for a very, very small pool of talent and a reluctant pool of talent to make some changes. You have to do everything you can to stand out. If an applicant has several offers for similar roles with similar pay, what would make them choose you? If pay is equal, if it's a similar kind of role, how do you stick out as an employer? How do you stick out as a business? Now, you might be thinking that most of your applicants don't come from your career site. So why could this even be important? Where could they be coming from? Yeah, I want to take them from job boards. The answer is yes, it's actually super important. Your career site is where applicants who are the most interested in your company will take time to go to confirm that the role is the right fit for them and read more about your company. Think back to, it could be yesterday, it could be years ago when you applied for a job. You looked to validate that the company you wanted to apply to. 57% of career site applicants are considered quality because of that. These are people with high intent, who are a true match, and who have made sure that they're a cultural fit to your business. So even if volume is low, even if you're not getting the majority of your applicant flow from them, those who do take the time to seek out your career site are much more likely to convert and become employees on your payroll quickly. To bring this back to the marketing conversation we've been having, you wouldn't skimp on that website I talked about before. In the auto industry, for example, most companies are finding cars on sites like cars.com, or they're going to third-party sites, but they're going to then Fox Motors and making some decisions there. You need to build out your website like you would for anything else and build out that career site to make sure that someone chooses you. It's also really important to have a diversified sourcing strategy. We can't put all of our eggs in that career site basket. In fact, a multi-channel recruitment strategy can help you drive 10 times more quality applicant than job boards alone. If you just go one job board, yeah, you might get a high volume, but if you diversify, you're going to have a higher quality and more opportunity. Compelling job descriptions for open positions should be posted across many channels rather than limiting your reach to one or two applicant channels. If you were marketing a product, you wouldn't limit it to one channel. You'd market on social media, search, email, etc. Why limit the job openings you have to just one channel if you wouldn't do that with your products or services? Said differently, when you're shopping for a new product, a new car, a new business, a new service to fix your home, or a new gym, are you spending time on just one place in just one Google search? Or are you doing your research and going different places? The marketers at those organizations understand that, and that's why they've built a multi-channel strategy. It should be the same for your recruitment. Just like marketing, deciding where to promote those open roles starts with an understanding of exactly where candidates spend the most time searching for jobs. We did a 2020 study in the middle of COVID, and we found out what channels people are looking. Job boards are for sure the top channel for job seekers. No surprise there. It's what they're built to do. It's where people are going to start to search. But it's really interesting to see that roughly half are coming through referrals. Your current employees want to work with people that they like because they want to bring on people that way. So this is great for you as an employer. Bringing on an employee referred to someone else, costs you less and is great from a cultural fit. About a quarter come from LinkedIn, which is another great source of serious job seekers, and nearly 1 in 5 come from your career site. So looking at this marketing mix, you can make some really, really sound decisions and really understand where you need to place time, money, and effort. There's one that I want to call out specifically, though, that's not listed here, and that's Facebook. About 12% of applicants today are coming from here, and this number is going to keep increasing fast. With nearly 3 billion with a B, active users, it's one of the fastest growing communities of job seekers online. It's easy, intuitive to use for job seekers. They can just apply using the information on their Facebook page. And it's free and easy for you to use too if you have a Facebook business page. I would hope that you do as you look at multi-channel marketing strategies, talk to your marketing team, but this is a great way to open yourself up to a new set of applicants, a new set of individuals looking for their next position. If you're not using jobs on Facebook to post now, you're missing out on a really easy way to reach a pretty sizable pool of job seekers. Again, I'll reiterate, if every person that can work or wants to work is working, you need to go where they're spending time. 3 billion users are spending time on Facebook. Get in front of them. In April alone, Hireology customers who are using our integration with Facebook attracted 25,000 applicants from jobs on Facebook. 500 of those converted to hires. And if you think about these numbers, it makes sense, right? People use Facebook every single day. It's on their phone. It's just a part of their life. You reach them there with marketing messages for your business. Why not use it for marketing to open positions too? The last key aspect of a recruitment marketing strategy is using data to inform your process and decisions. There is no difference to how you track and optimize your marketing campaigns. You need to know what works and what doesn't. When it comes to sales and marketing, you know where your lead volume is coming from. You know exactly what you're getting for every dollar you put into SEO, SEM, other third-party sites, etc. Put the same level of scrutiny on your recruitment marketing processes. When it comes to recruitment marketing, there are 3 important metrics to track. Time to hire. How long does it take you from initial application to an extended offer? We'll dig into this, but the faster you can do this, the better. Candidates have multiple options as the economy ramps up, and the longer you take, the greater your chances of losing your top applicants to competitors. Sourcing insights. Which of the channels that we just talked about are driving the most applicants? Which brings in the least? At the same point, which is leading to hires? If I'm getting 100 applicants from one source and only 10, but none of the 100 applicants are turning to hires and all 10 applicants are turning to hires in that channel, I'm going to spend some time where I'm getting the most people to fill my open roles. With this data, you can optimize where you can allocate that time and that resource and that thinking to maximize those results. And then the final is process adherence. It sounds crazy, but when you're looking to hire fast, it's important that your entire team follows a structured process. We're all strapped thin. We're all trying to get back to normal life. You don't have time to waste on a lack of efficient processes. If you can manage this and make sure your team is managing to this, think about how much time you can save. So to wrap it up, given that we said we promised some quick time here, we're in what we at Hireology like to call the new applicant economy. It was hard before. We were at an unprecedented level of unemployment, and it's only going to get harder as we look to reopen. Businesses are looking to hire fast, but there's just not enough people in the workforce to fill those open roles. You read every economist report, there are not enough workers to do the work that this country needs. You're probably feeling the pain of this, and I can empathize and feel it so hard. It is so hard to do what we're trying to do right now. You want to hire to keep up with this post-pandemic and economic boom, but you just can't hire fast enough. We want to do the work. We want to start making more money again. We need people to do that. Enhancing your recruitment marketing strategy by embracing tactics like developing candidate personas, defining your value proposition, forming a multi-channel strategy, and tracking those efforts can help you stand out in a crowded market and bring on that top talent faster. So with that, if any of the advice I walked through today resonated with you, or if you want to learn more about how Hireology can help you redefine that value prop, build job descriptions, and build things that it's going to attract top talent, please reach out to info@hireology.com. We'd love to hear from you and send over content to give you great advice. Thank you so much and have a great day.